Today's video will be a little bit different, a little bit more personal, and an honest truth update regarding my life as a foreigner living here in Taiwan. And now you might say, well, wait a minute, isn't that what you're doing every single week? Telling us about your life here in Taiwan and your life as a foreigner living here in Taiwan. And you're right, of course that is one part of my life as a foreigner here in Taiwan. As I am living here in Taiwan, I am also a Swede living abroad. I am a friend who is not only just a phone call away, I'm actually a phone call plus 6-7 hours time difference depending on which time of the day my friends back home in Sweden wants to get hold of me. And as a foreigner living here in Taiwan, I am also a son living literally across the world away from my parents. And just to bring everyone up to speed in case there are any new viewers here, my name is Lukas, originally from Sweden, but I've actually lived here in Taiwan for over 10 years now, and I do make regular videos regarding my life as a foreigner living here in Taiwan. And for those of you who have been following me and my channel for some time, you should all know that my parents, and in particular my mom, is a frequent visitor here to Taiwan as well. And before the pandemic, she actually came here every 6 months to visit me, which means that she has been in Taiwan technically more times than I have been here in Taiwan.
Hello everyone, my name is Evie, Lukas' mother. Welcome back to another video.
Also say that today we're gonna check out Tianmu Historic Trail and Waterfall.
Hi.
And not once, not a single time during these first 8 years of me living here in Taiwan has my mom been worried for my health, for my safety, or for my well-being. And I actually have a funny story from the first time I went back home to Sweden to surprise my mom after living here in Taiwan for 5 years. If you haven't watched that video yet, then please do make sure to check out that video after watching this one. It is not only my most viewed YouTube video of all times, it is of course also my personal favorite YouTube video in all categories. But long story short, just so you know what's happening here, this is during Midsummer Eve, which is the second largest festival we have in Sweden. So after literally an entire day of traveling from Taiwan via Stockholm and then a 4-hour bus ride from the airport in Stockholm to the forests outside of Karlstad, I managed to show up outside of our doorstep, I think at 10 p.m. on Midsummer's Eve. And first of all, we usually never get any visitors that late at night, especially not on Midsummer's Eve. So my mom of course was super surprised when first my closest friends from back home in Sweden opens the door and just surprising my mom. And then just a few seconds later I step out from a car and literally give her the surprise of a lifetime.
Du får ju skynda dig, Lukas.
But what is not part of this video is that after the scream and the shock has settled down, then we actually spend the next 5 hours until 2 or 3 a.m. just sitting out on the porch, me, my best friends, and my parents just sitting there on the balcony, chatting and talking about memories, because again, this is 5 years of me living in Taiwan, so we have 5 years of memories of catching up, both me and my friends, and then my parents there as well. But then again, around 2 or 3 a.m. in the middle of the night, after I've been home 5 hours at this time, my mom just casually asks, but how did you actually manage to get all the way from Stockholm to Karlstad, or even the forests outside of Karlstad? So I thought it was a little bit weird of a question to ask after I've already been home for 5 hours, but regardless, I said that I just took the bus from Stockholm all the way out to Karlstad, and then my mom just stopped as if she had seen a ghost. She just looks at me straight into my eyes and says, "You took a bus all by yourself?" And that just shows that she actually had no problem with me living all by myself in Taiwan for 5 years at this time. But me taking a bus across Sweden from Stockholm to Karlstad all by myself, in my mom's eyes, that was more dangerous and more scary than me living here in Taiwan for 5 years all by myself. And even during COVID-19, when this pandemic literally hit pretty much every single country on this planet, my mom knew, because she read the news actually more than I did back then, about how safe it was here in Taiwan. So my mom knew that although her only son was more or less trapped in a foreign country on the other side of the world, I was actually a lot safer here in Taiwan than I would have been back home in Sweden. But Recently, sadly, the Taiwan-related news in Swedish media has shifted from how Taiwan was beating COVID-19 to the alarm from Taiwan, relationship with China being the worst in 40 years, and also countless of reports on how the military presence from a lot of different countries have rapidly increased in this area here in Southeast Asia. And then last week when I had one of my regular weekly FaceTime calls with my mom, where I usually just tell her about how my life here in Taiwan has been during the past week. Well, it turns out that this week our regular FaceTime call ended up being not so regular, because this was actually the first time in 10 years and I guess over 500 calls with my mom from here in Taiwan, where she was a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit uneasy of me living here in Taiwan, and she actually asked me to make sure that I go back home in case the situation here in Taiwan with China escalates any further.
Jag vill inte ha det och berätta det här.
Nej, man är ju jävligt otrevlig, ska du veta. Jag begriper inte hur fan det blev av med då.
Now, in all honesty, maybe this FaceTime call with my mom maybe wasn't the most serious of conversations, but just having this as a topic of discussions during our weekly family updates just made me a little bit uncomfortable actually, because normally our weekly calls are just about my mom asking if I had any baozi lately, which for some reason is my mom's favorite food here in Taiwan. So in this video, I just quickly wanted to give a very quick personal update regarding the life here in Taiwan to all you moms, dads, family members, friends, or anyone else who might have someone who living here in Taiwan, which you are worried about a little bit extra when you are reading these news articles in your local media back home. If you would be living here in Taiwan, if you will go out on the street right now, I guarantee you will not see any indication that we are on the brink of war, that some news magazines might put it. And actually, just a couple of weeks ago, we actually opened up some of the COVID-19 restrictions as well, so now you can actually go out and enjoy a lunch or a dinner at the restaurant with a group of friends without needing to have these COVID-19 dividers ruining the experience as well. So I would like to say that the freedom feeling here in Taiwan is actually greater than it has ever been these last couple of months. But as always, especially when it comes to things political, macro perspective, or just facts and news in general, I don't take any responsibility. And maybe on a more political world politics point of view, I maybe should be a little bit more worried. But in terms of the personal safety, if you actually have to worry for your life, to all you moms, dads, brothers, sisters, friends, and anyone else who care about anyone living here in Taiwan, at least I for one feeling 100% safe living here in Taiwan. So instead of keeping myself busy worrying about a potential war between Taiwan and China, I have recently kept myself busy focusing on a lot of other projects instead. For example, when will the next blueberry juice come into JBW? When will I be able to go on my new coffee Huandao trip? When will I see this new COVID-19 vaccine everyone is talking about? Or just like earlier this month, when I found myself down here in Kaohsiung helping out to launch a brand new hotel, or more specifically helping to decorate and design this very unique hotel room specifically designed for online content creators such as myself. And if you are a little bit confused regarding my interior design career, then rest assured that you are just as confused as myself, since I absolutely had no idea about interior design when I left Taipei just a couple of days ago. But by now you should know that when it comes to any creative skill, there will be no problem at all as long as you have Skillshare, which is not only an online learning community with literally thousands of different online classes from the top domain experts in each individual field, they are also the sponsor of today's video. So for example, if you do find yourself in a situation to decorate your own hotel room, then I highly recommend the class Interior Design Basics by Lauren Cox, where she has been guiding me through all the simple steps to create my perfect space. Another thing I also haven't mentioned before is that Skillshare of course also have their own app as well. So it doesn't matter if you prefer learning by a computer or your phone, you will have instant access to literally thousands of different creative classes. And even on your phone, you have that great overview with all those classes in one single playlist, which is one of my absolute favorite things using Skillshare. And if you do use your phone, you also have the option to download and to watch all those classes offline as well, which is simply amazing if you do find yourself in a scenario where you're supposed to decorate your own hotel room even before the internet guys have come here to set up the Wi-Fi. But regardless if you prefer learning via your computer or your phone, if you are among the first 1,000 people who click the link down in the description, you will actually get an entire month of Skillshare membership for free. And based on my own experience, 1 month is more than enough to learn the basic YouTube editing, to design your own YouTube logo, and hopefully also learn how to decorate the hotel room so we can actually finish this project and head back up to Taipei and also finish the rest of this video. Well, actually, long story, but I'm not in Taipei in my actual studio right now. While you all went down to Kaohsiung to hear me talk about the amazing Moshi Wanghongjian at the Tensgo Hotel, I actually had to rush over here to Taoyuan. I'm right outside Taoyuan Arena right now. I just got my first COVID-19 vaccine, and I'm not even kidding. What I just experienced in here literally made my entire week, and I didn't plan on making a YouTube video about getting a vaccine here in Taiwan because I am quite late to the party and everyone else has gotten vaccines already, but I will actually make a comparison video just simply because I just had the literally best service experience I've ever had in my entire life, I think. So right now I actually gonna get back on my scooter, drive back home and start writing on that video as well, because that's something I really want to share with all my friends and family watching back home. So instead of me ending with my actually scripted out ending, and that you should all go and support me a little bit extra by joining my YouTube channel membership, instead of doing that, I will just remind you all to subscribe to this channel, like this video to show your support, and hopefully also share this video with all other moms or worried friends who are worried about us living here in Taiwan. But for now, as always, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lucas. It starts with L as in like, ends with S as in subscribe. Please do both, and see you all in the next one.